Okay, tell me if this sounds familiar. You finally sit down, maybe after a long day, ready to watch something, and then, boom, choice paralysis.
Oh, yeah. The endless scroll.
Exactly. Just scrolling and scrolling.
Mhm.
And maybe you spend more time looking than actually watching. Well, that whole experience might be changing. Netflix just announced something big.
They did, a new search tool, and it's powered by generative AI.
Right. So we're diving into a TechCrunch article that came out today, May 7th, 2025, covering this announcement.
Yep. Our mission today is really to unpack this. What is this new feature? How's it supposed to work? And, what could it actually mean for you when you fire up Netflix? We're sticking to this initial report for the main details.
Gotcha. So this big reveal happened at a tech product event just yesterday, Wednesday. But it wasn't totally out of the blue, was it? Weren't there some, hints before this?
That's right. The article mentions that Netflix actually brought up exploring AI for search during a recent earnings call. So yeah, this official announcement, it builds on things they'd already signaled.
Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
How does it actually work? The article says OpenAI's ChatGPT is involved.
Yeah.
That's a name most people know now.
Yeah, basically. The idea is to shift away from just typing keywords, like action comedy, towards something that they're calling conversational discovery.
Conversational discovery.
So think of it like just describing what you're after in normal language, like you talk to a friend. ChatGPT helps Netflix understand those more free-form requests. It's way more sophisticated than just matching keywords.
Right, so you don't have to guess the magic words anymore. You can just sort of tell your mood. The article had some examples of what you could say, didn't it?
It did, and they're quite good illustrations. You could say something simple, like, I want something funny and upbeat, straightforward.
Okay.
But it also mentioned more nuanced things. Imagine saying, I want something scary, but not too scary. And maybe a little bit funny, but not like, ha-ha, funny, that kind of specific vibe.
Wow. Okay, that is specific. That's the kind of thing you can barely explain sometimes, let alone type into a search bar. So when can you start using this? Is it live now for everyone?
Not quite everyone all at once. It's set to roll out this week, the week of May 7th. But importantly, it's an opt-in beta first.
Meaning you have to choose to try it.
Exactly. And it's starting just for iOS users, though the article notes some folks in Australia and New Zealand already had a peak, according to Bloomberg last month. So it's definitely a phased rollout.
Okay, testing the routers.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Now, Netflix isn't the only one playing with AI search, right? Other companies are doing this too.
Definitely. TechCrunch points out, for instance, Amazon's AI voice search on Fire TV lets you ask more open-ended questions. But it says Tubi is probably a closer comparison.
Ah, Tubi, right. What were they up to with AI?
Well, they also tried a ChatGPT-powered search. The article says it was designed to answer questions about content and suggest movies based on, really specific requests, pretty much like what Netflix is launching now.
Okay, yeah, that sounds very similar. So what happened with Tubi's version? Did it catch on?
Well, that's the really interesting part, and maybe a bit of a warning sign.
Oh.
TechCrunch notes Tubi actually discontinued that feature.
They shut it down? Why?
The likely reason mentioned is just low adoption. People weren't really using it much.
Huh. So that raises a big question for Netflix, doesn't it? Will their tool face the same problem? Why didn't people use Tubi's? Maybe it was too much effort. Or the results weren't better.
Exactly. That's the million-dollar question. Did users just find it easier to browse? Or maybe the AI wasn't quite nailing the recommendations well enough to make it worth the effort of talking to it.
It makes you wonder, maybe there's something about just, stumbling across a hidden gem while scrolling that people actually like. Could this super precise AI take away some of that serendipity?
That's a great point. It's that balance, isn't it, between getting exactly what you asked for and discovering something unexpected. Netflix's success might hinge on finding that sweet spot.
The article also touched on other AI plans for Netflix beyond search. Something about title cards.
Yeah, just briefly. At the same event, they mentioned using generative AI to update the title images, the cards you see, into subscribers' preferred languages.
Oh, interesting. So more personalization.
Seems like it. Another step towards making the whole experience feel more tailored, maybe even visually tailored down the line. It opens up possibilities.
Okay, so let's pull this together. Netflix is jumping into generative AI search with ChatGPT. The goal is more natural conversational discovery for you. It's rolling out now as an opt-in beta starting on iOS.
Right, after some earlier tests.
But we also have this example of Tubi trying something very similar, which apparently didn't stick with users.
Exactly. So the big things for you to think about are, is this really going to solve the what to watch problem better than browsing? Will people actually use it, unlike the Tubi attempt?
Yeah.
And what does it mean for an AI to understand your viewing tastes that well? How could this change how you find and watch stuff on Netflix?
It really gives you something to chew on next time you're staring at that home screen. The idea of an AI truly getting your mood is powerful, but yeah, the Tubi story is right there.
For sure.
But imagine, just for a second, if it does work perfectly, if AI could really decode those complex, maybe even contradictory things you want in entertainment, what else could it change? What other parts of streaming might get totally transformed? That's something to ponder.